There's our dry cloth. Well, we are on the final stretch with this very interesting 1974 Larrivee guitar. A few things I want to point out about it that are pretty unique. So this is where the values ended up on the bridge. Now I need to nudge them all back just a tiny little bit, and we'll come back and check again. When I get to this stage, when it's this close, all these final adjustments with the guitar tuned right up to concert pitch, all 6 strings in tune, I loosen off one string, scrape away at that saddle a little bit with a razor blade, and then tune it back up and check it. And that is exactly what we're about to do right now. So our point of reference is right at the very front of the saddle, so we're just going to scrape it back. Let's check that again. Good. So now we'll do the final adjustment for the nut. So we're going to fret the 12th fret and tune to that note, that fretted note. And open string. It's a little sharp. Check that against the tuner. Oh, look at that. Feed our little deflector plate through there again. This does not need to come back very much. That should do it. So before I finish up with this Larrivee, 1974 Larrivee, a couple of things I wanted to point out. It's interesting to see the sort of double scoop, you know, on the back braces. I'm sure he'd probably roll his eyes now, but you know, they're all intact. They didn't split. It was obviously something he was experimenting with at that time. It's interesting that there is a classical guitar on this label telling me that it's likely that this must have been a very early steel string guitar. He was sort of venturing in that direction at this point in 1974. The other thing I find kind of fascinating on this is the grain on the head block is vertical instead of horizontal. This hand-cut dovetail on this guitar was very shallow. And this is why I installed that Murakoshi fastener on the bottom tip of the dovetail to pull that heel in tight. So it is glued and bolted. Of course, bolting a guitar neck on now is kind of par for the course, from Taylor to Collings to Breedlove, and of course Robert Godin, who kicked the whole thing off decades before everybody else. All right, now I'm going to string it up. Now that all the intonation on the saddle and on the nut is done, this is concert pitch, we're going to string it up and let you hear it. Of course, one of the biggest challenges when you're resetting a non-adjustable neck is to make sure that you have a little tiny bit of relief, which we do. This is a 2 thou feeler gauge starting at the 8th fret. We got a couple of thou worth of relief. We have to make sure that the string tension pulls the neck up into perfect relief. And that's what we got. So next we'll do the tuning test, and you can see, more importantly, hear for yourself exactly how precise the tuning is now on this guitar. So these are the final values on the cantilever compensated bridge saddle for concert pitch. And this is where we ended up with this nut. So now we can go in and actually play some chords. You really hear this thing. This is a better view of the action and the neck relief. I'm delighted how this turned out. I did put 3 mother of pearl side position markers in this, 5th fret, 7th fret, and 9th fret. Well, as most people know, there's multiple ways to tune the guitar. Once all of the calibration is done with a compensated nut and cantilevered compensated bridge saddle on a steel string acoustic, this is one method of tuning that I'll use. I'll play the open first string and the fretted 9th fret note of the 3rd string. Then I go to the open 2nd string, 9th fret of the D string. Open 3rd string, 10th fret of the 5th string. And lastly, open 4th string and 10th fret of the 6th string. This is easily the lightest body on any Larrivee steel string that I've ever played. The neck is heavier than the body, and that's why it's so responsive. Now he does have a huge rosewood bridge plate under there, but the bracing is light and the top is relatively thin compared to other Larrivees, certainly.